I'm from Michigan, and in Michigan, after winter ends and spring begins, you have a ton of potholes on the road, and what happens when you have all these potholes is your tires pop. I have busted a ton of tires in the last number of years, and when you pop a tire, sometimes you gotta stop driving on the tire, pull over, and take a look at the pop tire to see if your tire's actually popped, or to see how bad the pop is, that way you can actually take care of the tire. If you don't stop and inspect it, you're just gonna keep making it worse and worse and worse. Now you gotta do the same thing here with your finances, where you gotta stop and inspect your finances. We already talked about stopping the financial bleeding. We already talked about not selling some of the stuff, but let's look at the already bills that you have and inspect some of those. The first part to this is I need you to write down on a piece of paper or use a Google sheet or Excel sheet, but I need you to write down on the top how much money you made and your different sources of income, if you have different sources of income, that way you know exactly how much money you made. And then below that, I want you to write your expenses. How much money did you spend everywhere? Line by line by line. I want you to look at your credit card statement, look at your debit card statement, look at your bank account, and look at every single place where you spent money in the last 30 days or in the last month. And now what you're gonna do is you have your income from the last month and you have your expenses from the last month, and now you need to see every single place where your money went. You have to account for every penny, because if you don't know where money is going, you're not gonna be able to optimize it. So now once you write down where all your money is going, you'll then also write your investments, and you're gonna write your charity, and you're gonna write how much money you put towards your savings. As soon as you look at this, there's a couple things that's gonna happen. One, you're gonna realize that you're way overspending on some places as opposed to others. Second, you're gonna find some bills that you didn't even realize that you still had because you forgot to cancel your subscription. Now you're gonna call up those companies and start canceling your subscriptions. Then after you've gotten rid of all the bad subscriptions that you don't have anymore, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to look at the bills that you're paying and see which ones you can cut your expenses on. Because I can pretty much guarantee you that 90% of people have at least one bill that they can lower their expenses on. Whether it's your internet bill, your cable bill, your phone bill, some other utility bill, there's a lot of bills or companies and providers out there that will be willing to negotiate your bill lower if you just ask. And now there's apps that do this for you as well. Earlier today, before I recorded this video, I came across an app called BillShark. They're not paying me to say this. I just found this app. I've never used them before, so I can't vouch whether they're good or not. But what they do is they literally work to lower your bills for you. And if they do lower your bills, then they're just gonna take a percentage of how much they lowered your bill. So something that you may wanna check out, it's billshark.com. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money away from your pocket. An asset is something like an investment, a stock market investment, a real estate investment, not a home that you are living in, but a home that you're renting out to somebody else. This could potentially be cryptocurrency. An asset could be a business. It could be a business that you buy or a business that you run. Assets are things that you're buying for the sole purpose of making money. Liabilities are all the nice stuff that we have, that we use. These are things that make us look rich. Liabilities are our clothes, our vacations are liabilities, eating out is liabilities, and our home is also a liability. Now this is a big argument, but the reality that you need to understand is every dollar that you're putting towards your home, your upgrades, is a dollar that you can't actually invest. And this is where people say, but my home, if I own my home, it's an investment, right? Because I'll be able to sell the home for a profit one day. But the question is, that's a big maybe. You're not buying your home that you live in for the purposes of making money. You bought the home that you live in for the purposes of creating memories, for the purposes of having an experience. Can you sell it for a profit? Maybe. Will you sell for a profit? I don't know. And this is where you have to understand it's a completely different mindset of that versus buying a home for the purposes of renting it out and making money. When you buy a home, an investment property, with the purposes of making money, you're going to make a lot more money than when you buy a home just to live there and make memories. Can you make a profit? Sure. But it's also not guaranteed, because now you have to go through this 30 years, your 30-year mortgage. You keep paying money every single year. You keep paying for property taxes. You keep paying for insurance. You keep paying for your upgrades. You keep paying for your maintenance. And then one day, you're hoping that you can sell it for a profit. As opposed to, I bought a property, I'm renting it out, my tenant is paying for all my expenses, is putting some profit in my pocket every single month. And then when it comes time for me to sell it, well, whether or not I sell it for a profit, I still have some cash in my pocket because I made money the whole time that I owned the property. I'm a licensed realtor, and I used to work as a realtor, and I used to help people buy and sell homes. And when you try to sell somebody a home, it is the best interest of the realtor to sell a bigger home, because then the realtor is going to make a bigger commission check. Now, does this mean that all realtors are bad and greedy and all that? No, this is just how the game works. Realtors are paid on commission. And same with leasing. You get a bigger commission check when you lease a bigger unit. Now again, not all realtors are bad. Some realtors are going to help you find something that you can actually afford, but this is where you have to understand that you want to make sure that you can afford where you're living. If you're overpaying on your lease, if you're overpaying on your mortgage, and you can't afford to invest your money, you can't afford to put money aside, then you really need to think about downsizing. Because if you can downsize and save yourself $100 a month or $400 a month or potentially even $1,000 a month, depending on how much you're paying right now, well, that's an additional $1,000 a month that you can put towards your savings, your investments, your future, and that is going to require a sacrifice on your part because, yeah, now you're going to have to move into a smaller home and everybody's going to think that you lost your mind or that something really bad is happening, but what's actually happening is you're moving one step closer to becoming wealthy. So while it looks like you're becoming poorer, you're actually becoming richer. And that's one of the weird things about becoming wealthy is that most people who try to just look rich are actually broke, but the people who are trying to actually become rich look broke. The second thing that you can downsize on is your car, especially if you're financing your car because you can't afford to buy it outright. Now there are some exceptions to financing if it is a tax break for you. But for most people, if you're financing your car because you can't afford the whole payment, or if you're leasing your car because you can't afford to buy the whole car, this car is costing you a lot of future wealth. Because now if you're paying an extra $500 a month to finance, own, and pay for this car, well, this $500 a month could be invested. And if you invested this $500 a month and you could get, say, a average 10% return on your money, well, over 6 years, which might be how long you own the car, this $500 a month could grow to $50,000 worth of cash in your account. But when you own a car where you're paying $500 a month, after 6 years, this car is going to be, well, not worth $50,000. It's going to be worth $10,000, if that. But if you can keep going and you don't have a car payment for 30 years, well, now this $500 a month will be worth $1 million. Your car in 30 years is going to be worth zero, nothing. Now you might be saying, but Jaspreet, I still need a car. What do you want me to do? Well, I want you to now go out and sell this car, take whatever cash you can, and go out and buy a used, beat up, but good working condition car with cash. That way you don't have to worry about the payments anymore. And you can get a good working condition car for under $10,000. And yeah, this is gonna make it harder for you to get to your $10,000 goal initially, but now this additional $500 a month that you don't have to pay towards a car is gonna help you blow past the $10,000 goal in the near future. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.